I'm back. Road Rants for Black and White Sports, Week 10 NFL Power Rankings. You might be like, whoa, the Cowboys and the Giants play tonight. Doesn't matter. Neither one are breaking my top five. I do a top five plus 2 or 3 or 4 teams that are in the mix for 6, 7, 8. No particular order. I kind of consider them all tied. All right. So let's just get to it. And teams that I consider to be in the mix up there: Seahawks, Texans, are sort of in the mix. The Chiefs have re-entered the conversation for that 6, 7, 8 area. Okay, Chiefs had a good win against the Vikings, especially with Matt Moore playing at quarterback. And the Seahawks sort of had their hands full with the Bucs at home. They were down early. The Seahawks sort of bother me a little bit, okay? I can't quite figure out how good they are. Texans in an impressive win against what I consider to be a decent Jags team, okay? So that's the in the mix teams: Vikings, Chiefs, Texans. And let's get to the list. I wanted to try to make these a little shorter, but, you know, it is what it is. By the way, two teams that one team that really took a hit for me, the Colts. I've been high on the Colts. They lost Brissett. Got to give the Steelers credit. They did not give up on this season, and they're 4-4 now. Probably a good thing the Ravens won last night, if you want to know the truth. Let's do it. Number 5. Number 5 for me is the Green Bay Packers. Last week, they were my number 2 or 3 team in my list. They're 7-2. They looked putrid against the Chargers. Aaron Rodgers has since come out and hit us with maybe the team wasn't quite focused. He sort of insinuated that maybe they went to the West Coast, did a little partying. It doesn't matter. Now, do I think during the season good teams will have what's called throwaway games where they just look shitty against a rather crappy team? Yeah. That's sort of why I didn't knock them out of the rankings. I think the Packers are a good team. I do. They're a dangerous team. And so we're going to see how that boils down later for the Pack. But I do consider them dangerous. They're my number 5 team right now. And number 4, I believe they were last week's number 3, the New England Patriots. You're like, whoa, they're 8-1, blah, blah, blah. Look, they got their asses dominated in the second half of that game last night. One of the reasons, and the Patriots were number 1 on my list for the first several weeks I did it. However, one of my most important things, and I normally tell this at the beginning of the rankings, I care about 2 things. What quarterbacks have you played and your strength of schedule? Who have you beaten? And I got pretty hard on the 49ers all year. They're my favorite team, but I was very objective about them because of who they had played. Patriots fell victim to that, and last night they ran into a good team in their building, and they got their asses beat. That said, look, I'm not going to overlook the Patriots. Could they still easily win the Super Bowl? Yeah. But once again, they're benefiting from that shitty division that they're in right now. Okay. So let us not undervalue the Patriots, but let's be objective and look at it from a wider lens. They ran in. I actually, when we did our predictions Saturday night, by the way, we give our predictions every week live. Usually on a Saturday or Sunday, we go live, give our predictions. I picked the Ravens to win this game. So I had a feeling about it. Number 3, New Orleans Saints. They were on a bye. They're 7-1. The Saints have had some good quality wins this year. Drew Brees is back. I was sort of worried about a chemistry issue. But look, they've still got wins against Seattle. They got wins against the Texans, Dallas, Jags, going to Soldier Field, whipping, dominating the Bears, and then they dominated the shit out of the Cardinals. So, yes, they were on a bye. That's why I just sort of kept them stagnant. I did. I think I dropped them back one spot. I think they were number 2 on my list last week. But I didn't want to knock them out of my list. I think the Saints are for real. I think they're dangerous. I think they could win the whole thing. Okay. Number 2, roaring up for my number 5 spot with what I consider to be the best win of the year by any team so far. The Baltimore Ravens. That's right. One of the things I care about is who's your coach, who's your quarterback. The Ravens look good last night, particularly in the second half. You could tell Harbaugh made some great adjustments, and they come out and they dominated. They whipped the Patriots in the second half of that football game. And just some highlights. The Ravens did beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh. They did beat Seattle in Seattle. And now they've got a win over the Patriots under their belt. Okay. So, yeah, do they have one more loss than a couple of the teams that's behind them? Sure. But again, in my opinion, you played far and away the best coach and arguably still the best quarterback in football. I don't want to hear Brady's old because I think when push comes to shove. Now, I will let you know this as well. I believe if they'd have played in New England wins that game. So that win could be very important when you start getting around the tiebreakers, playoff seedings, et cetera, later. We'll see. Now, I try to be as objective as I can, but I'm going to hold the 49ers at number 1 for the second straight week. Arizona gave them fits, okay? They did. I've got to give Kingsbury some credit because he's made some adjustments to the NFL game. So the Cardinals are playing everybody for the most part pretty damn tough right now. And so I didn't consider it just to be a walkthrough game for the Niners. You know, the Cardinals have 3 wins this year. And they're against shittier teams, but, you know, they're still wins. And sure enough, they gave the Niners a fight. Kyler Murray, I think, may be for real. Maybe. We'll see. But the 49ers at 8-0 are my number 1 team carrying over from last week. And I will tell you, had they lost to the Cardinals, that would have hurt them in my ranks too. Okay, I can tell you right now. I'm pretty objective when it comes to my own team. I'm hard on them. The other reason I kept them at number 1 is I've been so hard on them all year because I was looking for one thing out of the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo to show that he could carry the team if he needed to. And he played one of the greatest statistical 49er games ever. He was dominant. 4 touchdowns. Ridiculous. Jimmy G looked fantastic last week. He was my pick for comeback player of the year, by the way. So, you tell me what you think, black and white sports fans, about the Niners being number 1. Who's your number 1? Tell me in the comment section. You know, am I too hard on the Patriots after 1 loss? I just don't like who they played pre-Ravens. I don't. It's a bunch of Bills, Jets, and Fins. Congrats to the Fins for blowing the number 1 pick yesterday, by the way. Peace, I'm out. Till next time, subscribe to Black and White Sports.